Nutrition System Design Principles. Foliar application. There are several types of fertilizer application: basic application, in-furrow placement, and supplemental feeding to roots or leaves. Foliar feeding or application efficiently enhances basic root nutrition of plants. In foliar feeding, fertilizer is applied directly to vegetating plants. Nutrients stick to the leaves and are rapidly absorbed to become immediately involved in metabolic processes. The main purpose of foliar application of fertilizers is to help a plant survive stress factors like drought, excessive water in soil, diseases, pests, and pesticide treatment. Eventually, foliar application can become a first aid measure. Foliar application can also be introduced to adjust feeding if a plant suffers from a lack of nutrition, which can manifest itself as chlorosis, necrosis, or developmental delay. However, supplements of foliar feeding cannot fully replace basic nutrition. Foliar application can also support and stimulate plants during critical phases of their development. If a plant is under stress, its root system is often unable to properly absorb mineral elements. This can be remedied by foliar feeding, when nutrients enter the plant's surface organs without losing time and energy to be first absorbed by roots and then transported through the plant tissues. Instead, ions of nutrients enter the plant via the leaves to move directly to plant cells, where they become involved in metabolic processes. Nutrients in the form of anions and cations are absorbed by foliage at different rates. For example, 50% of amide nitrogen enter a leaf within a period of 30 minutes to 2 hours. Absorption of magnesium cations takes 2 to 5 hours, of potassium from 10 to 24 hours, while ions of micronutrient like iron or molybdenum are absorbed within 10 to 20 days. Accordingly, the absorption rate directly reflects efficiency of foliar application. In addition, a number of nutrients found in the soil is inaccessible or low accessible forms can be easily absorbed and assimilated with foliar application. It should be noted that the rate of absorption also depends on the size of the absorbed ion. All nutrients can be classified based on their absorption rate and in-plant mobility. For example, nitrogen is quickly absorbed by the leaf surface and is also a mobile element that moves easily within plant tissues during vegetation. Calcium is absorbed slower than nitrogen. Also, it is a stationary element that practically does not move inside a plant. A shortage of calcium is typically observed in young leaves, while a shortage of mobile nitrogen appears in older leaves. A number of considerations should be taken into account during foliar feeding of plants. First of all, the concentration of the feeding solution should be carefully monitored, as excessive concentration can cause chemical burns to plants. Secondly, substances without an electric charge like urea have a good absorption rate. It is therefore very important to identify the necessary phase of treatment, as untimely application may trigger the reverse osmosis effect. Foliar feeding requires strict observance of certain rules. In terms of requirements to weather conditions, foliar application is similar to pesticide treatment. Wind velocity should not exceed 3 to 4 meters per second. The optimal air temperature is 15 to 22 degrees centigrade. It is also very important to avoid rainfall within the first 6 hours after foliar feeding, so make sure to check the weather forecast in advance. The best time for foliar application of fertilizers is from 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. This period is characterized by high air humidity and plant turgor. Absorption of nutrients in hot weather is poor. Also, foliar application during daytime can lead to significant burns and thus cause significant stress to plants. Consumption of the feeding solution depends on the specific crop and the type of spray equipment. It is typically in the range of 100 to 300 liters per hectare, averaging at 200 liters per hectare. Chemical composition of the feeding solution should also be carefully monitored. For optimal dissolution, water temperature should be at least 20 degrees centigrade. pH should be in the range from 6.3 to 6.8, and electrical conductivity should be from 1 to 5 millisiemens per centimeter. Drops during Foliar application should be as small as possible. Also, remember to follow the right sequence for adding components when preparing a mixture in the tank. It is recommended to first check the compatibility of different pesticides and growth regulators with water-soluble multi-nutrient fertilizers.